Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah, Lamed Gimel Beis, starts like this. Shir Tekiah Teruah. Shir Teruah Yevava. One Tekiah equals a Teruah, and one Teruah equals a Yevava. Before we even translate those words and explain the connection between the terms Tekiah, Teruah, and Yevava, let's backtrack a second and find out what is it, why is there a Tekiah and why is there a Teruah. The psukim in Parshas Emor and Bahar describe the sound of the shofar as either va'avarta, which Chazal explained to mean a straight, solid sound, or Teruah, which the word Teruah literally means a broken or shattered sound, or might call a undulating sound, but it's not a solid sound. There's another word which Chazal use, which is the shvarim, which also means a broken sound. But the Torah does not use the word shvarim. The question is, what is the Teruah? What kind of sound was the Torah talking about when the Torah tells us to blow a Teruah? And the Gemara says there's two choices. Maybe it means a sobbing, moaning, groaning sound, or maybe it means a crying, whimpering sound. Just for sake of clarity, we should have to have a discussion about it. You have to give these sounds names. So Chazal called the moaning, groaning, sobbing sound a shvarim, and they called the whimpering, crying sound a Teruah. But the Teruah and the shvarim are both synonyms, and they mean the same thing. So either one could have been what the Torah is talking about. The Torah said a Teruah. Well, that's a good question. Which one was the Torah talking about? So the Gemara says that because it's unclear which one the Torah is talking about, so we should blow both. So it comes out we have to blow a Tekiah, and the Gemara B'Darshan's Psukim that Tekiah has to precede and follow every Teruah. So we blow a Tekiah, and then a Teruah, and then a Tekiah. Or we should blow a Tekiah and a shvarim and a Tekiah, or possibly both the Teruah and what we call the shvarim are both the Teruah of the Torah, and if we should blow both of them, so we blow a Tekiah, a shvarim, a Teruah, and a Tekiah. And that the Gemara explains on Lamed Daled. But for now, we have to go back to that Mishnah. So the Mishnah says that Tekiah is kashir Tekiah is a kashir Teruah, and the shir of a Teruah is a shleshi vavis. So, for the mathematically minded, one Tekiah equals one Teruah, and one Teruah equals 3 Yevavis. Well, let's start backwards. What is Yevava? Rashi explains that Yevava is the shortest possible sound. So he says it's a koilus kolshehu ba'alma. It's the smallest possible thing. This a kolshehu ba'alma, like a double emphasis on that it's really a small sound. Something like that would be Yevava. That would mean that 3 of those sounds would be 3 Yevavis. Working backwards, that's 1 Teruah. So according to Rashi, a Teruah would sound like 3 really short staccato sounds. So what's a Tekiah? So a Tekiah is 1 solid sound as long as those 3 short sounds. So Rashi's Tekiah would sound like, it wouldn't be longer than that. It would make the Baal Tekiah's life a lot easier if he could just blow Rashi's Tekiyas the whole day. So what's a shvarim? If the Teruah is 1 very short sound times 3, and a Tekiah is 1 long sound equal to 3 of the short sounds, where does the shvarim fit in? So Rashi's shvarim is very, very short, almost impossible to blow. It's more than 1 and less than 3. So Rashi's shvarim might sound like not much more than a Teruah. It's a tiny bit longer than the individual sound of a Teruah, and a drop shorter than the 3 sounds that would form together a Tekiah. What would happen if you blew the shvarim longer than 2 sounds? You blew it 3 sounds. So Tosfos says, and Shulchan Aruch brings passages like that according to Rashi, that comes a tekiah. So if you blew a sound for your shvarim, something like that was a tekiah according to Rashi. So if you had to blow tekiah and then shvarim and then tekiah, and you blew sounds like I just blew, you ended up with 5 tekiyas and no shvarims. So it's very difficult for the Baal Tekeh to blow Rashi shvarims. The truas and the tekiyas are a pleasure, but the shvarims are really impossible. Tosfos has a different understanding of what a yavava is. Tosfos says that 1 yavava is 3 small sounds. So 3 yavavas would be 9 small sounds. That would be the 9 sound teruah that we're familiar with. Let's try that. That would be 9 sounds. It sounds a little bit short, but 9 sounds really are very short. In shul, typically the Baal Tekeh blows much longer than that because most people can't count as fast as the Baal Tekeh can blow. So according to Tosfos, a teruah is 9 sounds. So a tekiah is equal in length to 9 sounds. So it's 1 solid sound equal in length to 9 sounds. So a tekiah would be, if you blew shorter than that, it's not a tekiah because it didn't do the full 9 sounds. If you blew longer than that, Shulchan Aruch says that you can blow your tekiah as long as you want. So according to Tosfos, life is very simple. A teruah is 9 very short sounds, and a tekiah is 1 long flat sound. And the pleasure of Tosfos is the shvarm, because the shvarm is longer than 1 sound, shorter than 9, and you're good. Let's try the shvarms according to Tosfos. That's perfect. It can be longer if you want, or even longer. Because as long as I don't blow any of those individual sounds, 9 kaiches, still in a shvar. So how do we pass between Rashi and Tosfos? The Mechaber leaves it open-ended. He doesn't come to a clear conclusion between Rashi and Tosfos. As long as you're consistent and you blow your tekiyas and shvarims and teruahs to match, either like Rashi or like Tosfos, either way you can be yotza. So you'd have to blow long tekiyas, and you can blow medium-sized shvarims and a multi-9 staccato sound teruah, according to Tosfos. And if you blow that, you're yotza. And if you blow short teruahs and very short shvarims and reasonably short tekiyas, you're yotza according to Rashi. Whichever you do is fine. The contemporary minig is to do like Tosfos, probably because that's much easier for people to do. There is a minig, popular in many circles in Klal Yisrael, that's designed to combine Rashi and Tosfos to blow 1 sound, 1 kind of shvarim, that you can be yotze Rashi and Tosfos in 1 shot. And that is to blow what's called a broken shvarim. There's many varieties of the broken shvarim, whichever one they do in your shul. And sometimes you wouldn't even know that they're trying to blow a broken shvarim, but they are. I'll give you a few examples of what a broken shvarim may sound like. We'll try each shvarim separately. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And there are more. Each of these sounds, if you take the whole unit of the sound with the change in note, is long enough to be a shvarim according to Tosfos, because it has more than 2 notes. It has 3 notes in it, and it's the individual bit of 1 note is short enough to be a shvarim according to Rashi. When it changes notes, Rashi would consider that a separate piece. Now, I don't know that Rashi would consider that a separate piece, but there's definitely a lot of discussion in the Rishonim that if you break the sound in the middle and you change notes in the middle, it might be considered a different sound. We don't know for sure that that's what Rashi held, but whoever set up this minig to blow the broken shvarim, he certainly held that by breaking the sound in half and restarting the sound in the middle by changing the note, is considered a new sound, and according to Rashi, you didn't blow too long, and according to Tosfos, we're considering it one sound, like the many Rishonim who are mashma, that if you change notes in the middle, it's one sound. So that would be included in Rashi and Tosfos. According to Rashi, if you change notes, it's a new sound, and according to Tosfos, if you change notes, it's not a new sound, but at least we solved that you can blow a shvarim according to Rashi and Tosfos in one shot.